Before we get into today's story, ask yourself this. How does a referee standing just a few feet away watch one of the biggest stars in the league get caught in a heated altercation and somehow decide that nothing deserves an immediate whistle? That's a question fans across the basketball world have been asking ever since new video footage began circulating online, showing a controversial moment involving Caitlin Clark that has reignited accusations of inconsistent officiating in the WNBA. What started as another physical game has quickly exploded into one of the league's biggest controversies of the season. The footage has been slowed down, replayed from multiple angles, and dissected by analysts, former players, and thousands of fans across social media. Many believe the referee had a clear line of sight, yet no foul was called during the crucial moment. Now, reports surrounding the official's suspension and her decision to finally break her silence have only fueled even more debate. Was this simply an honest mistake made in the speed of a professional basketball game? Or does the video reveal something much more concerning about how certain games are being officiated? As emotions continue to rise, supporters of Caitlin Clark argue that this is far from an isolated incident. They point to a growing list of controversial no-calls involving the rookie sensation, claiming the league has repeatedly failed to protect one of its biggest stars. Meanwhile, others believe the backlash has gone too far, insisting that referees make split-second decisions under immense pressure and that every missed call shouldn't become a national headline. But after the latest footage surfaced, that defense is becoming harder for many fans to accept. Now, with the referee reportedly speaking publicly for the first time since the controversy erupted, new questions are emerging about what really happened during that game, and whether the league's response will finally put an end to the growing criticism. So, what exactly does the video show? Why has this incident sparked such an intense reaction? And what did the referee finally say after days of silence? Let's break down every angle of this developing story. The debate surrounding Caitlin Clark and WNBA officiating didn't begin overnight. Long before the latest controversial play made headlines, basketball fans had already been discussing the increasingly physical treatment Clark has faced since entering the league. Every hard screen, every aggressive foul, and every heated confrontation have been placed under a microscope, not only because of Clark's popularity, but also because millions of new viewers have started following the WNBA specifically to watch her play. As the league's audience has grown, so has the scrutiny surrounding every whistle, or, in some cases, the lack of one. The latest controversy centers on a tense sequence during a highly physical game that quickly spread across social media. Multiple video angles circulated online, with fans slowing down the footage frame by frame to examine exactly what happened. Some viewers argue that the officials missed an obvious foul, while others believe the contact was simply part of an intense basketball game. Regardless of which side fans supported, one thing became clear almost immediately. The play had sparked another major conversation about consistency in WNBA officiating. The discussion wasn't limited to social media either. Sports talk shows, basketball analysts, former players, and journalists all began weighing in with their own perspectives. Some commentators questioned whether officials have been consistent in protecting players during highly physical games. Others argue that basketball is naturally a contact sport and that referees often have only a fraction of a second to make difficult decisions while keeping up with the speed of professional athletes. The debate quickly shifted from one isolated play to a much broader conversation about how games across the league are officiated. Caitlin Clark's arrival in the WNBA has undoubtedly changed the landscape of women's basketball. After an extraordinary college career filled with record-breaking performances and nationally televised games, expectations followed her into the professional ranks. Her presence has attracted new television audiences, increased ticket demand, and generated enormous attention for nearly every game she plays. With that popularity, however, has also come unprecedented scrutiny. Every possession involving Clark is analyzed in real time, and even routine physical contact often becomes a subject of endless online debate. Supporters argue that because Clark is one of the league's biggest attractions, officials should ensure that games remain competitive without allowing excessive physical play to escalate. They believe missed calls can place players at unnecessary risk and create frustration for both teams and fans. Critics of that viewpoint, however, counter that Clark is experiencing the same adjustment many rookies face when transitioning into professional basketball, where defenses are stronger, players are more experienced, and physicality is simply part of the game. What makes the situation particularly fascinating is how quickly every controversial moment spreads across the internet. In previous eras, questionable officiating decisions might have been discussed briefly before attention shifted to the next game. Today, high-definition replays, slow-motion breakdowns, and countless reaction videos allow every angle to be examined repeatedly. Fans become investigators, creating side-by-side comparisons with previous incidents and debating whether similar plays were officiated differently. Within hours, hashtags begin trending, opinion videos appear online, and sports media joins the discussion. The latest incident followed that exact pattern. As clips continued circulating, basketball communities became deeply divided. One side viewed the sequence as another example of officials failing to recognize significant contact involving Clark. The other side argued that isolated clips often fail to capture the speed and complexity of live officiating. Both perspectives fueled an even larger conversation about whether the WNBA should review its officiating procedures, increase transparency regarding replay decisions, or provide additional explanations after controversial games. League officiating has become one of the most discussed topics throughout the season, not just in games involving Clark, but across the WNBA as a whole. Coaches have occasionally expressed frustration after games, players have voiced opinions about consistency, and fans frequently compare similar plays from different matchups. While disagreements over officiating are common in every professional sport, the rapid growth and attention surrounding the WNBA has magnified every controversial decision. Another factor driving the discussion is the emotional investment of fans. Supporters naturally want to see their favorite player protected, while opponents often believe physical defense is an essential part of basketball. That difference in perspective means the exact same play can be interpreted in completely different ways depending on who is watching. As a result, debates rarely end when the final buzzer sounds. Instead, they continue for days through podcasts, television segments, live streams, and social media discussions. The league now finds itself balancing two important priorities. On one hand, officials must allow competitive, physical basketball to remain part of the sport. On the other, they must ensure player safety and maintain confidence that games are being officiated fairly and consistently. Every controversial sequence places additional pressure on referees, league officials, and review processes, particularly when millions of viewers are watching every replay. Whether this latest incident ultimately changes league policy remains to be seen. What is certain, however, is that the conversation extends far beyond one whistle or one game. It reflects larger questions about consistency, player protection, competitive balance, and the challenges officials face in one of the fastest sports in the world. As more information, analysis, and reactions continue to emerge, the controversy has become another chapter in the ongoing discussion surrounding Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA and the intense spotlight that now follows nearly every game she plays. As the replay continued to spread online, the conversation quickly moved beyond the single play itself. Fans weren't just debating whether contact had occurred. They were asking whether the moment represented a larger issue that had been building throughout the season. Within hours, slow-motion clips, side-by-side comparisons, and reaction videos flooded social media, with thousands of viewers reaching completely different conclusions after watching the exact same footage. For many supporters of Caitlin Clark, the sequence looked familiar. They pointed to previous games where they believed physical defense against Clark had crossed the line between tough basketball and unnecessary contact. To them, the latest play wasn't an isolated incident, but another example in a growing list of controversial moments. They argue that officials had missed opportunities to control the game's physicality before tensions escalated. Others saw the situation differently. They believed the replay, while dramatic in slow motion, did not necessarily reflect how quickly everything unfolded in real time. Basketball is played at incredible speed, and referees must process multiple players moving simultaneously while maintaining the best possible position on the floor. According to this viewpoint, difficult judgment calls are inevitable, and replay angles available after the game often provide a level of clarity officials simply do not have during live action. That difference in interpretation became the center of the controversy. Instead of everyone arguing about the same facts, they began arguing about what those facts actually meant. Every new replay seemed to convince one group while reinforcing the beliefs of another. Rather than settling the debate, additional footage only intensified it. Television analysts soon joined the discussion, offering different perspectives based on their own playing and coaching experience. Some emphasize player safety, arguing that consistent officiating is essential to preventing frustration from boiling over during highly competitive games. Others reminded viewers that basketball has always been a physical sport, and that not every collision automatically deserves a whistle. Their comments added depth to the debate, but also highlighted how subjective officiating decisions can be. Then came the first major twist. Instead of focusing solely on the players involved, public attention shifted toward the officials themselves. Online discussions became less about the outcome of the game and more about how referees are evaluated, trained, and held accountable. Fans began asking broader questions. How are controversial plays reviewed after games? What standards are used to evaluate missed calls? Do officials receive feedback when significant mistakes are identified? These questions transformed the conversation from one controversial possession into a league-wide discussion about officiating transparency. Sports media quickly recognized that the controversy had become much larger than a single highlight. Debate programs featured former players, analysts, and reporters discussing whether the incident reflected a broader consistency issue across the league. While opinions differed sharply, there was widespread agreement on one point. Maintaining confidence in officiating is essential for any professional sport. The discussion also highlighted the unique pressure created by today's media environment. Every game is captured from multiple camera angles, replayed instantly across social media, and analyzed frame by frame. A moment that might once have been forgotten after the final buzzer can now remain at the center of public discussion for days. Fans compare similar plays, create detailed breakdowns, and share clips that spread to millions of viewers within hours. As the debate grew, attention naturally returned to Caitlin Clark herself. Since entering the WNBA, she has become one of the league's most recognizable stars, attracting record television audiences and bringing new fans to women's basketball. With that level of visibility comes extraordinary scrutiny. Every hard foul, every confrontation, and every officiating decision involving Clark tends to generate significantly more discussion than similar plays involving less prominent players. Supporters argue that this increased attention simply reflects her impact on the sport. Critics counter that heightened media coverage can sometimes amplify routine basketball plays into major controversies. Both perspectives gain traction, making it increasingly difficult to separate emotional reactions from objective analysis. Meanwhile, coaches and players around the league continued emphasizing the importance of competitive but respectful basketball. While physical defense remains an important part of the professional game, many stress that consistency is what players value most. Regardless of the teams involved or the popularity of individual athletes, competitors want to know that similar situations will be officiated using the same standards throughout the season. As more voices entered the conversation, it became clear that the controversy had evolved far beyond the original play. It now represented a broader discussion about players' safety, competitive balance, officiating consistency, and the growing spotlight surrounding the WNBA. Every new opinion, interview, and analysis added another layer to the debate, ensuring the story remained in the headlines long after the game had ended. With emotions continuing to rise and public interest showing no signs of slowing, one question remained at the center of the discussion. Would this latest controversy lead to meaningful changes in how future games are officiated, or would it simply become another chapter in the ongoing conversation about consistency across professional basketball? That uncertainty set the stage for the next phase of the story, as reactions from across the basketball world continued to shape the narrative. As the controversy continued gaining momentum, the conversation reached a point where it was no longer centered on a single play. Every hour seemed to bring another reaction, another analysis, or another debate about what the incident meant for the league as a whole. Sports talk shows dedicated entire segments to the discussion. Former players offered contrasting opinions, and social media became flooded with frame-by-frame breakdowns of the sequence. What made the situation even more intense was the speed at which opinions formed. Within minutes of the video circulating, countless viewers had already decided exactly what they believed had happened. Some insisted the officials had simply missed a difficult call in real time, while others argued the sequence highlighted a broader concern about consistency in officiating. The same replay was interpreted in completely different ways depending on who was watching it. As more commentators joined the discussion, attention shifted away from the scoreboard and toward a much larger issue. Analysts began asking whether controversy reflected a challenge facing professional basketball as a whole. Modern technology allows every possession to be replayed from multiple angles in ultra-high definition, creating expectations that every decision should be perfect. Yet officials must make split-second judgments while players move at incredible speed. That contrast became one of the biggest talking points surrounding the incident. Meanwhile, fans continue comparing the play with similar moments from earlier in the season. Highlight compilations appeared online showing other physical sequences involving different teams, fueling debates about whether similar situations have been officiated consistently. Some believe those comparisons strengthen the argument that clearer standards were needed. Others caution that every play has unique circumstances and cannot always be judged solely through edited video clips. The discussion soon expanded beyond officiating alone. Many observers pointed out that the WNBA's growing popularity has dramatically increased the attention surrounding every controversial moment. As television audiences continue to rise and more casual fans begin following the league, routine disagreements that might once have remained within basketball circles now become national conversations. Every whistle, every replay, and every post-game interview receives far more attention than in previous years. Caitlin Clark's presence has undeniably contributed to that increased spotlight. Since entering the league, nearly every game involving her has attracted heightened media coverage and widespread online discussion. As one of the sport's most recognizable players, moments involving Clark naturally generate stronger reactions from both supporters and critics. That visibility has made her game some of the most closely analyzed contests in professional basketball. Then another important realization began emerging from the public conversation. The controversy was no longer really about one player, one official, or one possession. Instead, it had become a discussion about trust. Fans wanted confidence that games would be officiated fairly regardless of the teams involved or the popularity of individual athletes. Players wanted consistency so they could understand where the line between physical defense and illegal contact would be drawn. Coaches wanted standards that remained the same from one game to the next. Although people disagreed on the specific play, many agreed that consistency benefits everyone involved. Former players echoed similar themes during interviews, emphasizing that competitive basketball has always involved physical play. At the same time, they stress that consistency is critical because uncertainty can create frustration for athletes on both sides. While opinions varied regarding the original sequence, many believed ongoing dialogue about officiating could ultimately help improve the game. The story also highlighted how rapidly narratives can evolve in today's sports media environment. Initial reactions often focus on emotion, while later analysis introduces additional context and differing viewpoints. As more experts reviewed the footage and discussed the play, audiences were reminded that controversial moments rarely have simple, universally accepted answers. The public conversation itself became almost as significant as the original incident. Perhaps the biggest takeaway from the entire controversy was not that everyone reached the same conclusion, but that the incident sparked a meaningful discussion about the future of the league. Questions about officiating standards, player safety, transparency, and competitive balance became central topics across basketball media. Whether viewers believe the officials made a correct decision or not, the debate demonstrated just how much attention the WNBA now commands from fans around the world. With emotions still running high and discussion continuing long after the final buzzer, attention began shifting toward the league's broader response. Many wondered whether future games would be officiated differently, whether ongoing conversations would influence training and evaluation processes, and whether this controversy would eventually fade or become another defining moment in the season. One thing was certain. The incident had become far bigger than a single play, and its impact on public discussion was likely to continue well beyond that night. As the debate continued to dominate basketball discussions, reactions poured in from every corner of the sports world. Fans, analysts, former players, journalists, and commentators all weighed in, each bringing a different perspective to the conversation. What began as a controversial on-court sequence had evolved into one of the most talked-about stories of the WNBA season. Across social media, basketball fans were deeply divided. Many argued that the incident highlighted the importance of consistent officiating and player safety, particularly in games featuring high levels of physical play. Others believed that while the play was controversial, it reflected the fast-paced nature of professional basketball, where referees are often forced to make split-second decisions without the benefit of slow-motion replay. Sports television quickly picked up the story, with debate programs dedicating significant airtime to the incident. Analysts broke down the available footage from multiple angles, discussing positioning, timing, and the challenges officials faced during live action. Former players explained that officiating is one of the most difficult responsibilities in professional sports because every decision must be made in real time, often while several players are moving simultaneously. At the same time, many commentators emphasize that public confidence in officiating is essential for any professional league. Even when opinions differ about a specific call, fans want to believe that similar situations will be judged consistently from one game to the next. That principle became one of the central themes throughout the discussion. The incident also renewed conversations about player safety. Coaches and former athletes have long acknowledged that basketball is a physical game, but they also recognize the importance of maintaining a balance between aggressive competition and protecting players from unnecessary contact. Throughout the debate, many observers stress that consistency, not perfection, is what players value most from officials. Media coverage extended beyond traditional sports networks. Podcasts, YouTube channels, and independent basketball creators produce detailed breakdowns of the sequence, often comparing it with other controversial plays from around the league. Some concluded that the discussion reflected broader questions about officiating standards, while others argue that isolated incidents should not be used to judge the overall quality of an officiating crew. Another major topic involved the growing visibility of the WNBA itself. The league has experienced increased television ratings, greater attendance, and significantly more media attention in recent seasons. With that growth comes greater scrutiny. Every controversial call now reaches millions of viewers within minutes, and social media allows debates to continue long after the final buzzer. Many analysts pointed out that this level of attention is both a challenge and a sign of the league's expanding popularity. Caitlin Clark's presence naturally intensified the conversation. As one of the league's most recognizable players, nearly every game involving her attracts widespread attention from basketball fans and the general public alike. Supporters argue that this visibility explains why incidents involving Clark often become national stories, while others noted that star athletes in every sport tend to receive greater media focus than their peers. Journalists covering the league encourage viewers to separate emotional reactions from objective analysis. While heated debates are common in sports, many reporters reminded audiences that controversial officiating decisions are not unique to the WNBA. Similar discussions occur across professional basketball, football, soccer, and other major sports whenever high-profile moments generate strong public interest. Perhaps the most significant industry reaction centered on transparency. Many analysts suggested that continued communication about officiating standards and review procedures could help strengthen public confidence over time. Clear explanations of rules and consistent enforcement, they argued, benefit players, coaches, officials, and fans alike. Ultimately, the public response demonstrated just how much interest the WNBA now generates. A single controversial sequence sparked days of discussion across television, digital media, and social platforms, highlighting both the passion of basketball fans and the growing visibility of the league. Although opinions remained sharply divided, one conclusion was widely shared. Every major moment in today's game is likely to be examined from every possible angle, making consistency, communication, and trust more important than ever as the season continues. As the immediate controversy began to settle, one thing became increasingly clear. This story had evolved far beyond a single possession. Whether viewers believed the officials made a correct decision or thought a crucial call had been missed, the conversation had exposed a larger issue that continues to follow professional basketball: how to balance fast-paced officiating with growing expectation for accuracy and consistency. In the days that followed, the debate refused to disappear. Every new discussion seemed to lead to another question rather than another answer. Fans continued reviewing game footage, comparing similar plays from around the league, and debating where the line should be drawn between tough, physical defense and illegal contact. Instead of reaching consensus, the basketball community found itself more divided than ever. For some, the incident represented nothing more than a difficult judgment call that became magnified because of modern technology and social media. For others, it symbolized a broader concern about consistency in how games are officiated. Those competing viewpoints ensured the discussion remained active long after the final buzzer had sounded. The growing attention surrounding the WNBA also became impossible to ignore. Every nationally televised game now attracts more viewers than ever before, and every controversial moment is instantly replayed, analyzed, and debated across multiple platforms. In many ways, that increased scrutiny reflects the league's continued growth. More fans watching means more opinions, more analysis, and higher expectation for everyone involved, from players and coaches to officials. Caitlin Clark remains at the center of many of those conversations, not simply because of her talent, but because of the unprecedented attention she has brought to women's professional basketball. Every game she plays generates headlines, and every major moment involving her quickly becomes part of a much larger public discussion. Whether that attention is fair or not is itself another debate, but its impact on the league is undeniable. At the same time, experienced basketball observers have cautioned against allowing any single controversial play to define an entire season. Professional sports are filled with difficult decisions, emotional moments, and passionate disagreements. Officials, like players and coaches, are evaluated throughout the season, and no single game tells a complete story of their performance. Perhaps the biggest takeaway from this controversy is that it has encouraged more people to pay attention to officiating standards, player safety, and competitive balance. Those conversations may ultimately prove more important than the original play itself. Constructive criticism, thoughtful analysis, and ongoing discussion all have the potential to strengthen the game when they remain grounded in facts rather than assumptions. Still, many questions remain unanswered. Will future games be officiated differently as the spotlight continues to grow? Will ongoing discussions lead to greater transparency about officiating standards? And as the league continues expanding its audience, how will it balance the demand for physical, competitive basketball with the expectation that every player receives consistent treatment on the court? Those questions extend well beyond one game, one player, or one controversial sequence. They touch on the future direction of a league experiencing rapid growth and unprecedented public attention. Every closely contested game from this point forward will likely be viewed through the lens of this larger conversation, making each whistle and each non-whistle a topic of intense public interest. For now, the debate remains open. Fans continue to analyze the footage, commentators continue to offer their perspectives, and basketball supporters on every side continue searching for answers. Whether the discussion eventually fades or becomes another defining chapter in the league's evolution will depend not only on future games, but on how the WNBA continues to address the challenges that come with its rapidly growing spotlight. One thing, however, is certain: the next major controversy will not simply be judged by the final score. It will be judged by millions of viewers watching every replay, examining every angle, and asking the same question: was the game officiated fairly? That question will continue to shape the conversation long after this particular debate has passed, ensuring that every future matchup carries even greater expectations than before. As this story continues to unfold, one thing is certain: the conversation is far from over. Whether you believe the officials handled the situation correctly or think changes are needed, this incident has sparked an important discussion about consistency, player safety, and the future of professional basketball. With every new game, fans, analysts, and players will continue watching closely to see how similar situations are handled. Now it's your turn to join the conversation. After watching the footage and hearing the different perspectives, what do you think? Was the officiating handled appropriately? Or do you believe the league should review situations like this differently in the future? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinion, and remember to keep the discussion respectful. Everyone sees a game from a different perspective. If you enjoyed this in-depth breakdown and want more coverage of the biggest stories in the WNBA and the world of basketball, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We cover the latest news, game analysis, player reactions, and the biggest debates shaping the sport. If you found this video informative, don't forget to leave a like. It helps the channel reach more basketball fans and lets us know you'd like to see more content like this. Feel free to share this video with friends or fellow fans who have been following the discussion. They may have a completely different take, and that's what makes sports conversation so interesting. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Your support truly means a lot, and your comments are always one of the best parts of these videos. Stay safe, enjoy the games ahead, and we'll see you in the next video with more basketball news, analysis, and updates. Until then, take care.